you reign!
This is the D-Generation Clix podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruffman,
Ravage!
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
We
Best friends.
Asgard to Mouth, and Pete.
Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation Clix podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me for this special silvery emergency silver episode of Silver is Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, how silver is your silver?
That's sterling. If I had to guess a kind of silver.
That's quite silverly, probably. Dan, silver, positively silvery positive or negatively silvery negative?
Nah, I'm Argentium, thank you, sir.
Is that silver?
Yes.
Okay. And Pete, after going Bookwood level tryhard with Cosmic Spidey for our fun casual silver game yesterday, what are your thoughts on playing a piece that just sees through everything for a fun casual silver night during the week?
Oh, so you were the tryhard this week.
Well, listen, Bookwood wasn't there, so you can't have nature abhors a vacuum. So I filled that nature, or that vacuum, actually. And I'm gonna say that it was not. I started out the night playing somebody that had a 3-chase team, and it started off with a bang. And we can go into that later if you want. But
Nope.
it was a fun night.
Defend your Cosmic Spidey right now.
My Cosmic Spidey was perfectly fine.
Okay. What about
Somebody
adding?
else-
What about adding the Pog, the bystander?
Okay, that thing's broken.
Copycat.
I didn't realize how broken that thing was
Mhm.
until like one game into it, and I was like, "Well, yep, this is the greatest 15 points in HeroClix history. It's not even close."
All right. So you did learn a few things last night, then.
Yes,
I feel like you learned
And
something
you
every
still-
7 points.
you still managed to stunner literally most of my team,
You deserved it.
so it was. I did deserve it, but I regret nothing.
All right. And joining us tonight for this special impromptu silver episode is the most silvery silver guy I know, Aaron Morgan. Aaron, any death threats after the updated release?
I was still in the first 12 hours of the release, so give it time.
So
I'm
maybe
sure
you'll
someone will
say
be
that.
mad.
wake up to a bunch of them.
It's only been like
Yeah.
5 hours, technically.
Been 5
So-
hours since I made this post earlier. I was prepared for my phone to go dead at 5 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock and my phone is at 25%. That's how much my phone has went off.
Mostly positive or negative hatred?
A lot of it's positive. The people that don't understand some things just don't know it all yet. That's what we're going to go over tonight.
Are they dumb or they just are maybe just not in tune with silver?
They play Monopoly, they don't play Clix.
Gotcha.
Well, we know for a fact the only people that hate HeroClix are people that play HeroClix. So you can't. That just comes with the community.
I don't even know if this kid listens to this show, but I'm gonna give him a shout out. Xavier, you get some points for me the next time I see you. High five, whatever you want to do. He's been actively upset with me about the MOE since they got temporary banned, and even he stood up for Silver today and was like, "Listen, man."
Is he a professor?
No. Right? Yeah. No. He's been one of the constructive. I don't like it, but his reason for not liking it is he likes the MOE. He wants to play them, and that's fine. That's kind of what we've talked about every time I've been on here for Silver stuff. Is finding the thing you like and playing them. So I get he has to kind of wait to play his thing. But the reason why they went there in the first place was valid. So it's just getting to the line where they can come off, which we're close to, and everything will be okay. So
Sounds good.
5 months.
Aaron Morgan welcomes you to WizKids events, and now he is healing the community. One silver season at a time.
we'll get there, man. We'll get there.
All right. Well, we did originally have a different episode planned for this week, so we will be recording and dropping that later this week. But this is an all silver episode, so no news, no Bookwood report, just silver. So here's your silver update.
Nothing wrong with silver. Nothing wrong with silver at all.
So main description of silver currently is the build total is 400 points. No more than 200 points of a costed game element may come from sets that are modern age legal, or no more than one game element with a cost greater than 0 points on a player's starting force may come from a set that's modern age legal. Now, did they change the wording to that last part?
Sounds different than originally as far as
I had to read it quite a few times.
All right, so the last part, all game elements are being treated as unique.
Nope, that's not it.
Nope. Hold on.
So the whole thing with
It's
paying
great.
a piece that's more than 200 points. The wording sounded weird. Did they change that or no?
No. It's how you allow the one-man army stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's-
and then
it's
any
a
equipment that you don't
cost
pay for or anything like that is still fine.
Yeah, anything that costs you actual points goes against the modern age thing. If it's free, it's still good.
Okay. And then no more than 4 sideline elements may come from a set that's modern age legal. That's still the same. If a player would score 1 or more mission points from any effect, just instead that player doesn't. So that was a great call during the last season. And then this is the only one that's new. So this is all game elements are treated as being unique, right? This is the only addition.
Yes.
And now it's just effectively Highlander. And so this is something that we mentioned a while back, and that would probably fix a lot of stuff. But why is this change being official right now?
So, what was it? About 2 months ago? 3 months ago? WizKids put out a Silver Age poll, and the community spoke. They wanted Highlander. That was the number one mentioned thing in the results from the poll, along with some other stuff we'll go over as we go through everything. But you guys wanted it. Now you got it. So I'm very much trying to cultivate this format for the players. It felt good to let the players have a say in what was going on. You guys already kind of did throughout the year anyway, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew that your opinions matter as far as stuff going toward the format and growth count.
Yeah, I think this should honestly help
So-
quite a bit.
Would it be fair to say that silver is the format of the people?
Couldn't call it the people's
Yes, people's
format. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was getting there.
So what about the characters that were designed to play multiples of them? Because that's the only thing I've heard about or negative about this so far.
All right. So on that note, I've been saying it in a couple of the posts. There's a bunch of them. So somewhere I've said it on at least 3 of them today. Stuff like generics and figures that require multiple of them. I am actively already working on getting those added to be exempt from the Highlander rule, so they can function as they're intended. Super Rare Flash from Wonder Woman 80th is a good example of something that will be allowed to be played once it goes live. The Joker bombs from JLU, those should work. The cables, the Lokis that all either start the game with multiples on the board already, or you pay for one and get other ones for cheaper. Those are going to come into play. I'm working on a lot of stuff to get that and the wording for that correct. My initial draft that I submitted, I only had 3 things that weren't legal as far as what I'm trying to achieve with the generics and stuff like that. So I just got to see what WizKids wants to do to finalize it. Maybe they say everything is legal as far as that goes, and then we just go with it. The 3 things were iconics. So I'm not really sure they're wanting to not allow those. And then in the end, I think it'll be okay. I was just trying to be safe up front.
Is there a time frame on when that might be a thing? Did you say that?
Sometime after the cup. I don't have a deadline yet. I just know phase 2 is going to happen after the cup.
Okay. And then this actually just came to me. So that would include the trick arrows too, right? So you can only play one of each trick arrow now? Or you couldn't play multiples of a trick arrow, I should say?
So,
Nope.
the
Just
arrow
agree.
cards don't go in your...
Nope.
No.
Nope. Just
Sadly, it's not going to work the way you want it to, but they are being looked at, so maybe that is part of the Phase 2 update. I just
all right.
can't lock that in yet.
All right. We'll circle back to that. Let's start with the...
based off the wording, all game elements are unique. That includes each arrow. Just saying.
I mean, you're only allowed one trick arrow per force. The cards for the arrows aren't a part of your force. They don't go on your build sheet.
We'll find a reason.
So it's unique.
We'll find a reason.
Yeah. I know you will.
All right, so let's start with the restricted list. If you aren't aware of the restricted list, it's a list of characters that you might not, or that you may not include more than one of between your starting force and your sideline. So on here still is the House of X 051 Maggot. So he's remaining on here. How come he had to stay on this list with Silver now being Highlander?
So a lot of it is still in place for the initial drop-off time frame. If I can get a lot of these dropped off in quicker time, I will. But I did say Maggot was there until after Worlds, so that's not really changing right now. He could potentially still be really strong paired with Porters and Saturnine, so maybe he does stay, but I do believe the intention with Highlander is to get him off this list, but I can't confirm that 100% just yet.
Okay. And then both white shirt and black shirt Scott Porters are still on this list. Personally, I'm happy that both of them are on here, and I hope they stay on this list forever. Can you promise me that they'll stay on this list forever?
They're definitely staying on the restricted list unless we clean it up and it becomes... No, I didn't say it was going anywhere. I just said unless we clean it up and it becomes something a little bit more refined where they still belong.
Okay.
Sir.
All right. And then added to this list, I think this is the only addition, is the OP, the 207 Saturnine. So she's really bad in multiples, but again, with Highlander, does she deserve her spot on this list?
She's really strong, even with one, I think. The ability to just adjust an attack total is solid, and she allows you to access to tarot cards. I mean, that's something you gotta think about too.
Okay.
And she gives you more tarot cards, not just the standard deck.
Right.
Exactly. She gives you sidelines options for free.
Yeah. So she has a reason to still be there. I think even if we do refine this list, I think she's there with the Porters, depending on the ebb and flow of the format and how we've been doing it. I don't see Highlander going anywhere, but it's always safe to keep some things restricted like this in case communities like, but I miss multiples, so.
Well, that or I think the restricted list then becomes more of like, okay, well, this stuff when paired together is just way too potent as a combination, right? And that's what that's there for. So like, hey, you have your choice if you can pick one of these elements, because there's no way you should playing all 5 of them would be bonkers. So.
Yep.
And then coming off this list, I wasn't able to find the old list, but that was Necron. And who else is coming off the list? The restricted list.
Carnage.
Carnage
Silver Serpent.
Okay. And is that it?
Yeah, that was all that was there.
Okay. I thought there was one more. All right, moving to the temporary ban list. So nothing was taken off the temporary ban list, correct?
Correct. Again, that goes back to they still have their time frame to stay on it.
Did you maybe
they
want
will
to reconsider taking off my nifty traffic barrel?
No, I think because of some certain people on the show, it's seen a massive uptick. So I was already on the fence about keeping it on this list for another year anyway. I mean, if you really want to play it, you got 20 points for Plastic Man.
Yeah, that's a thing we could do.
Oh, it is. You can swap out, and he just sits on the sideline and hope you don't get quaked.
That
Or
seems-
35 points and put a bike on Plastic Man.
so that
but
it
then he
pops
drops-
off. That's a terrible idea, Pete.
It is not terrible because you have non-standard figures that could use a bike. Absolutely, it's a good play.
Okay.
That's
We're off to a hot start here.
Always are.
All right.
I
Well,
can tell you figures that don't have a bike that would be better with a bike. just right off the bat.
I bet you could.
We know, Mom. We know, Mom.
All right. So we'll talk later on that nifty traffic barrel for sure. But let's
Okay.
let's start with the biggest temporary ban, a temporary ban that everyone here hopes turns into a lifetime ban, and that is Beetlejuice. So to everyone that was hoping to main force him in silver to ruin the event, or maybe even call him in from the sideline and ruin the game,
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
you'll have to get better at the game and learn how to play instead of playing a piece that just says your opponent can't play their team. Aaron, can you add any insight to his addition to this list?
I mean, the community kind of called for it outright. It makes sense. Even if he's not hitting the board right now, he's still one of the most sideline figures in the game. And if he gets main force, he's just as potent. His interaction with autonomous figures and bystanders is really toxic.
Super.
Hopefully something on the other side of the game is looking at him as well. So
Now, can you promise me a permanent ban going forward in silver post Worlds update?
I mean, he's on here for at least a year. At least.
That's a long time.
It is.
Not long enough.
The juice is not loose anymore.
At least not in silver.
Or life.
All right, number 2.
Yeah, people want to make modern miserable with him. They still can. So good news. for-
Unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah, you can still be a unsufferable person in modern if you want to be.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest thing about the update. You banned them in silver. Yes, I did. They're still in modern. They're not going anywhere. The prices aren't going to change. They're still played. Just not here. We don't do that here.
Did you hope to play a piece that you don't have to roll dice and can just deal ridiculous amounts of unavoidable damage? Are you one of those people that thought Darkseid was a really cool way to win the event and didn't see anything wrong with being a player that chose that type of team?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Darkseid is benched. Now, I thought that was a really good fix for him, or what would have been a really good fix is just to errata his power for when he destroys opposing terrain. That's when that triggers. But benching is better than just allowing him to go unchanged for another big event. Is there anything else behind Darkseid, or is he just going to kind of stay like that probably?
Darkseid was the third most mentioned thing in the Silver Age poll. And I can't say on this podcast what people said about Darkseid. And we say a lot about it.
he was good, and they helped them win at the kitchen table against their children, and they love playing that way.
That is definitely not even close to what people said about Darkseid. It was
That was
wow.
paraphrasing. That's all it was. Just paraphrasing.
That's the nicest thing I've heard you say about a figure before.
Yeah.
The dark side one hurts a little bit. But he should never have been able to do what he did during that silver season. That was just like not fun to participate in. As a figure, I think overall he's fine. I think there just needs to be something done with that particular power and interaction.
I'm gonna say you literally had him walk through your entire team firsthand, so I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I still like the dark side figure. I think
Yeah.
it's super cool.
Oh yeah.
So I do need to tag team talking about this figure with another figure. So if you have a drop for 024, Ryan, let's start there.
Do I have a drop? Sure. Did you want to be able to select a piece best suited for the matchup at the beginning of the game, or sit back in your starting area and send out little bystanders that you can mind control from?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
024 Iconics Butterfly is banned. Go ahead.
All right, so I will say this about Butterfly and about Darkseid. The only way these two get played, the only way Darkseid ever exists in Silver again is if Butterfly is legal. Butterfly is part of the answer to Darkseid.
That is
we proved
totally
that this
true.
Silver season. Figures that never saw play got to see play because it helped fight Darkseid and all his madness. So again, I'd like to thank the community for showing the people that run this game that we know what we're doing as far as finding answers to things that are very broken. But I will stand by the fact that if Darkseid is to ever come off this list, Butterfly has to be legal. If Butterfly were to go and Darkseid wasn't going for some reason, then I would just perma-ban Darkseid forever.
So what is the biggest upset about Butterfly?
I mean, it was really a utility Swiss knife figure, which is fine. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. I just think that, one, it's definitely been overplayed this last year. Overall, when you look at the meta in HC units, because I don't just randomly guess this stuff.
Well, I figured you pulled it out of your magic satchel. I'm just like, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, apparently. But no, like, I do look at all the data. I do see what gets played at events.
Is it still
I will
really,
touch on the fact... go ahead.
Is it still really that commonly played? Because I feel like it's really gone down quite a bit, especially after like the one-shots became legal. Collector's Trove maybe was the last time.
It still saw like good percentages overall, like the last two events.
I think Butterfly I think Butterfly saw a downtick in Modern. I do not think Butterfly will ever see a downtick in Silver.
Okay.
Butterfly is going to give you so many options and let you prepare for potentially 8 different matchups because of sideline.
Yeah.
That for 60 points, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, in Modern, Butterfly has probably saw a downtick. I don't think it will ever see a downtick in Silver, outside of the one it's about to get.
Okay. All right, next, were you hoping for cheap leadership, TK, pulse wave protected probability control, being able to place the characters during game setup, and a ton of other things for 20 points?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Masters of Time 040 per Degaton has been benched. Is this really just his huge popularity?
Yeah, we're going to lean into that and what all he does for 20 points. Figure displacement at the beginning of the game, TK prob, hyper time, and there's another thing he does. I don't think I've ever even cared to use that ability, but I know it's there.
The Super Sense one?
Yep.
Yep. A lot of people don't even know he has that.
Yeah. So it's just he's just good for what he does. So much, in fact, that I'm surprised if he sees some kind of other list going forward.
Well, anything would be well deserved.
But yeah, I mean, Predigaton is probably the best 20 points in the game currently.
I can tell you what the best 15 points is.
Yeah, we'll get to that one too. I'm sure that's going to get asked.
Yeah, it's motorcycles.
Yep.
That's the most bought figure in the game. Did you know that?
Yeah. So that's the most. So are we going to see a temporary ban or bench for motorcycle like we did the nifty traffic barrel?
Potentially.
Don't do it.
I am looking at...
Yep, I'm taking
you only get one now anyway.
Oh, that's a good... Well,
fine.
Is it? Would you still... What's the wording on those things? That wouldn't get around Highlander?
Because now everything in silver is unique.
But this one says motorcycle is not unique.
There you go. It literally says that it's not going to listen to your silver rules.
Unique. Yeah. So motorcycle gets past the rules.
Everyone still gets a bike.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we, Aaron? Can you comment if the miles list is officially a thing, or we just speculated?
You talking about the motorcycle? Yeah.
Well, just the miles list in general, like whatever Miles is talking about for silver, like it immediately goes on some list that's not open to the public.
Oh yeah, the Kane files. Yeah, I've got a list of that shit too.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe you were hoping for a piece of terrain that costs 0 points and gives anyone adjacent to it shape change.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Now, Aaron, what's the reasoning behind the phone booths benching?
Same one as the last one. So
this hurts.
Oh, you'll be
this
fine.
This one hurts.
This is the best Kryptonian piece ever made. This is like F you to Kryptonian fans. And I love it.
It's weird how the Kryptonians don't even use it.
Well, they don't even understand why you should use it.
No, I meant like Supermans don't care about it. They're just gonna throw it at you. So this is the first no, this is the second time because of the traffic barrel. This is a heavily played terrain marker. I mean, the same goes for the next couple we're gonna talk about, but they're literally on every modern build.
And they're free.
Yeah, right. It's free. It's free shape change for your whole team, except for the guy holding it or whatever. So, I mean, one of the biggest complaints is how heavy the rollout game is right now. So, why did we get a free item that helps rollouts?
Very good question.
This just felt right. Based on the data, like I said, I don't just pull it out of a magic satchel. Thanks, Dan. It just needs a break. It'll come back around. And go ahead.
I completely agree with this because honestly, having been a victim of phone booth theft, it's a real thing.
Phone booth theft. How did my Mimic eat your phone booth one? I don't remember if my Mimic ate. I know my Mimic.
Redmond stole it once.
Yeah.
Hurt my feelings.
Good. Deserved it. All right. Were you hoping to play Prime Colossus with Captain Carter's shield?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Colossus is benched. So I don't think anyone's going to miss this guy, right?
I feel like he's not even on there for the Captain Carter shield nonsense. I feel like he's there for the mind control nonsense.
He's got a lot. Yeah, that's another
speak
thing.
For yourself. I will say, speak for yourself. Let's talk about how somebody said, I don't like playing against things. That is correct. Incorrect. I played Colossus Prime just as much as anybody else. I'm a mind control fanatic when it comes to that power in this game. And even I'm aware that he's busted. Real busted because of his points, his stats, and his ability. It is absolutely time for him to take a break. And that's it. He's overplayed. He's the most played Prime in the game probably ever.
I just wanted to hear you say it.
So no, it's not. I took my ball and went home with it. It's the community wanted him dealt with in some shape, way, or form. Because again, it was on the poll, and the poll we did. And that's it.
Was he heavily mentioned in the poll too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were people nicer to Colossus or Darkseid?
Colossus. So much nicer.
It's because it's not Colossus's fault. No. Like, that's Shadow King that's making Colossus do all those bad things. So you can't really, fault Piotr.
There's some sympathy there for sure.
Yeah, true.
I'm with Miles on this one. I feel like the blame should be on the Shadow King.
I mean,
but here we are.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Look at the data. He's ridiculous. Everything he does is solid. This goes back to a lot of the things we've done before. Me putting really good things on the temporary bench list isn't new. It's been happening for years now. It's just like the world shatters when I update the temporary bench list. They'll come back.
Well,
I mean,
A
you look at it.
whole tech team just died because he goes away.
Yeah. I mean, well, you look at what did you ban last year? You banned the last bonkers prime, which was Prime Spidey. It's just
Yep.
you're
Surprise.
consistent. So
It's gonna be okay, guys. Everybody just needs to adapt to not having Colossus on your team. We'll survive. My control people will cry a little bit tonight, and they'll move on because there's other stuff coming.
Well, I'm glad that he's taking a nice break.
also you can play Juggernaut. Juggernaut's not quite the same thing, but he does a lot of similar things.
Juggernaut's definitely going to see some play in Silver. I expect him and the Super Magneto and some other stuff to be like, you just don't get equipment, and I'm going to come punch you in the face.
Yes.
Yeah, fun.
You know what we haven't said in a while, but I feel like needs to be said about Prime Colossus?
What?
He's fine.
He's not fine. He deserves his break.
He's fine.
His break is fine.
I think Blue Beetle deserves a break. I think Arachnite as well.
Beetle's gonna
Arachnite
take
just
a
saw
break.
a ton of play. And Madam Web, those need. If I'm losing Donnie Blaze forever, I think the least we can do is to bench Arachnite and Madam Web for at least a year.
At
Undeserved.
least I'm
Oh,
skating
look,
away with
that's
that.
another figure I like playing that I had to bench. Oh, wait, let's talk about Bastion, a figure I played into the dirt, and I had to,
He was a great wrestler in 1993. Bastion Booger, loved him.
He was. I had to pour one out for when I had to ban Bastion. Robot Tech with Bastion was great.
So all
This
I'm hearing
game,
is
his
you play a lot of
ability-
broken pieces that you've had to bench.
Right. And I'm not
Right.
crying about it.
Okay.
It's so crazy.
It's a niche
just
thing
gonna
that's
say-
incredibly powerful. I don't know if it's necessarily like super broken. Bastion's a little bonkers, but like it's very niche.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say
Okay.
Donnie Blaze. The only person that gets blamed for Donnie Blaze getting banned is you, Miles.
It's Reggie. Reggie's the reason why it happened. Don't you? Me and Donnie, we're on good terms again. Don't.
He was. I like Donnie. He's a lot of fun.
All right. Do you like Vibranium and having another way to gain access to it?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Wakanda's greatest material, the Vibranium terrain, is benched. Aaron, why'd you do this one?
It's the same thing as the other two. It's heavily played. It needs a break. It's also problematic in Silver with some of the destroys blocking figures that exist. And it's not the only way to get Vibranium. You can still create tokens because those are tokens and not terrain markers.
But it is part of a brand new gimmick. And that makes you play certain pieces.
The gimmick exists without the terrain marker. You've got figures that can power, make more terrain, and figures that give you extra tokens. Sorry, I said terrain. Extra tokens when they start the game. So if you want to play Vibranium, you just have to adapt into Wakanda.
All right.
As
Or at least
someone
more
who-
Wakanda tech.
I was gonna say, as someone
And
that's
400
played
points,
Wakanda
you
now-
should definitely be able to find room.
Oh yeah,
You can.
It's
but now
30
you have
it's
to.
30. Yeah, it's 30
Aw.
points. It's really not that hard.
It's not.
Dan, you're not helping here.
I'm okay with that because I've literally played this element for like the past 6 months. I'm cool with it like getting benched. It's fine.
All right.
You know what would really help, neuter it, if that way, if they have improved movement, destroy blocking? The nifty traffic barrel.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Hold on, I gotta find my world's smallest violin so you'll shut up.
You can play Proteus.
And I did. And
Yeah.
I will.
Shocker.
There you go. You're fine.
Or if you're Pete, you play Prime Vision. There you go.
Now, do you like bringing back your characters after they've been KO'd?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
After 5 years of being modern legal, Death Metal Wonder Woman is benched in silver. Thank you.
I feel attacked.
Good.
Who in God's name is like concerned about this taking a break?
Nobody.
5 years in modern? 5. Oh my God.
You guys are missing it. 5 years and counting. She's not getting. There's been no rotation announcements, right?
Correct.
No, not,
Yeah.
not yet.
There's no
When
way she
someone
makes
tries
another
to play
one.
her, I'm just gonna say,
That doesn't work for me, brother.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this just makes me switch from her to Diana. That's literally it. It's like, oh, they're the same amount of points. That's all I'm gonna do.
Good.
I'm real surprised you're trying to play Prime Panther.
Fair. He just didn't work on my build.
What about Thor? He's 50 points, and he has to die twice.
He dies a lot easier for 50 points.
Yeah.
Play him at 150, damn. Be that guy.
I had
If he
Nimrod
had,
Prime in Thor. It was hilarious.
What was it?
I said I had a Nimrod Prime this past week. Eat a Thor. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like it's cute until he just gets two tapped and then he's just dead anyway.
Is her main reason, though, just
Just
how
wonder.
much play she's seen?
Fact, right?
Yeah.
That's like
You
super
saw
potent.
5 years of play. Definitely needs to not be in the meta. Maybe for 2 years, just because she had 5 years in modern.
I totally agree with that.
No,
so
she-
I support 2 years. So you heard it here first. This is the first figure to see 2 years of benching guaranteed.
You say that.
You can say
No,
that.
No, so 2 years, nope. Nifty Traffic Barrel, it's going to be year 2.
I really think it is.
This one
Death
hurts
Metal
me
Wonder Woman
personally.
I don't know. Death Metal Wonder Woman is a great fig. She was also paired a lot with Butterfly. She just does a lot for her 50 points. She's really good. 5 years of good. She needs a break. That one wrote itself. I didn't even have to look at data for that. Death Metal Wonder Woman, 5 years in modern. You're sitting out. You're gonna watch and just cry because you gotta go.
Well deserved.
Oh,
I
5
mean,
years and
let's see.
counting.
I started back in Modern when she became Modern, so I think it's only fitting that I retire Modern when she retires Modern.
I do not see the connection there.
Well, it's just like me, her, and the Nifty Traffic Barrel all started clicks at the same time. You know?
I still don't see the connection there.
I don't know if I can play without my Nifty Traffic Barrel.
It's
Oh,
hard.
now you sound like one of those guys who plays Monopoly.
Played and no, you didn't play in Silver this year. You had to judge.
I couldn't. I judged.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
Now,
can come up to ours in July and play in our silver event, Miles.
do you like
see.
being able to use your
see.
powers no matter what? Do you enjoy not caring about being pulse waved or outwitted?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
048 Ghost Rider has been benched. Aaron, what did this asshole do?
I mean, I think you just said it.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider has been on my radar for a year already. He escaped the temp ban list last year because he saw a downtick before I went to make it. He's heavily played in the West Coast, and he definitely gets played in Texas. I'm talking about you, Diego. See if he hears that one.
And what, North Carolina, too? Gotta give the,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Kings
Joseph
credit to
personally.
Carolina.
I played him
Yeah,
last year.
the
for
Clash of
World.
the Carolinas. Joseph and messaged me already today. He was like, "But why?" It's like, you know why. It's a weird enablement. It's like, hey, I built this team to help me fight you. Well, half my team doesn't work because you just get to use your crap anyway. And I think within moderation that would have been fine, but just constant is a problem.
Well, I'm happy to see him go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sad about it, but I know there are people that are.
Yeah, I think this is one of the top ones that I think some people will be sad about.
Yep.
I'm gonna blame
including
Dan
our
for this one.
CCO champion,
Wait,
actually.
you're blaming me for this one? What?
Yes, somebody's got to get the blame, Dan, and Miles has gotten the blame for nothing, so it's your turn.
Okay, I mean, if I'm gonna get blamed for something, Ghost Rider is totally on my list of things I'd play.
Now, do you still agree that Kong is good even though not many people are playing him?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Now, this poor guy already saw an errata that set him straight, and he's seen a huge dip in play. So what's the reason for this guy getting added to the list?
Oh, he was on my list already before this little change happened. While he is good, and he is good for his points, I'm not denying that Kong is not a great figure. I think this one boils down to he can lead to bad play experiences for players. I mean, I've got a couple locals that just won't play if they see a Kong hit the table.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Still?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, yeah.
the PTSD is that bad? Okay.
Yep. I mean, yeah, there are ways to like deal him pin damage now, which is great, but Kong, I think, took a dip beyond like things getting stronger than him because of the stigma. I think he got Vulture primed on his own. Does that make sense?
Just because he got an errata that people assume that he's bad? Is that what you're talking about?
That and, well, yeah, the errata made people think he wasn't as good anymore. But, I mean, the fact that it was just something that got played so heavily, so fast, and in multiples, I think it just became a bad taste for some players, and they moved on to different things.
Yeah, I haven't seen him be nearly played as much as he used to be. I think only, even at Adepticon, how many people played him? Or Champion CliX?
It was 2 at Adepticon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One team had 2.
And I've been saying that since the Ices, like, prep for Kong, and it just wasn't a thing.
And none of it's...
It's also like prepping for... Go ahead.
I was going to say, none of it's an issue with him being played at like 200 or 300 points, right? It's just his frequency that he was being played at a while back.
Yeah, and that's what started the looking glass at Kong. I mean, 300-point Kong in silver is something. He's definitely not going to be easy to deal with unless you're playing something that doesn't roll dice. So I think Kong's time in the shade is here. Let's just let him rest for a minute. It'll be a nice welcome back in a year, and maybe he'll get replayed. You know,
that'll be
but
really
I do think
interesting to see how much.
I mean,
will change
can you imagine that in a year
Yeah.
where Kong's just like, "Hey, I'm back."
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do the things I was doing before, and you guys forgot, because that's what happens to a lot of the temp bench stuff. It's like, oh, we've not had to think about it, and then the clock starts ticking, and it's like, guys, they're about to be like back, and nobody preps. So like, you should be getting your reps in against Masters of Evil soon, because they're coming. And I still don't think people are ready for them to be back.
Prime Spidey, oh yeah.
So I think it's worth asking then that if this is stuff that's going to be added now and the rotation happens after Worlds, we're still like 5 months away from Worlds. So does that mean that the stuff that just got added is probably going to be on this list for a year and a half?
Technically.
Is there a chance that some of
maybe.
it could fall off after Worlds and it is only going to see like a 5 month bench?
Potentially. Can't confirm or deny that 100% yet, but it's something to watch. I mean, a good way to see into the future would be to watch the modern events that are happening. What sees an uptick in play, what sees a downtick in play because of what's happening here, and any potential changes in the future on their side. It could change things where like, hey, this, and this are off because they fixed it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this draws eyes to some modern age stuff that's like, hey guys, what are we gonna do about this? Because if it comes into silver pure, which some of this will soon, I mean, then it just sit there. But you guys need to be looking at these things, I think. And maybe if it's not on this list right now, it's being handled by other people in a different format.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm really curious. How did the shark evade the bench?
A camo?
Yeah.
Because like 4 people play it. The same 4 people.
How did Legacy Odin get clear?
Because only Dan plays it.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, it's good. It's the prize tag, but it's not. It's fringe. Dan is just good with his fringe build.
So does Legacy Odin all of a sudden become not fringe with a lot of this ban list, and Collector going to be seeing an uptick in play that maybe Legacy Odin is going to be the one piece that will be able to counter Collector?
We'll find out. It'd be cool to see Legacy Odin get an uptick in silver. I think there's a lot of things.
He did get second. He did get second in an event already, so during states.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some gold builds with him. All right. Lastly, did you enjoy being able to prevent ridiculous sideline options?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Get ready for Ares bombs, mimics, and insane one-shots, because Chair Panther has been benched. Defend yourself, Aaron.
I will go back into the sentence I just said. Just because it's not on my list doesn't mean it's not on another one.
So this guy is a little different. He's not getting played because he's this amazing, amazing piece. He's getting played more along the lines of the reasons that Butterfly was getting played, where it gives you answers to terrible things that are in the meta.
Right. And didn't we just say that maybe if things get fixed, something could drop off?
Okay. So
I don't know. I honestly I don't think that he should have been on here, especially with no one-shots on this list. I think that's with the rivalry and stuff.
I was surprised that Ares or some one-shots didn't make the list either. That was a bit of a surprise. I thought at least Ares would, as high as he's been on the sideline, I thought he would be. And this
Again,
is
I will say, just because it's not on my list doesn't mean it's not on someone else's list. So take that into consideration. I have conversations you guys don't. So sometimes it's like, hey, I want to address this. Oh, it's already being addressed. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone because you're going to do it.
So what you're saying about rivalry is...
You just made the list!
I would like to see it make the list for sure, but I would definitely think that somebody is looking at it. We did just get this great new guy in playtesting, didn't we?
who is that?
Yeah, we did.
PJ.
Is he new to the game?
No, he's not.
I heard he's great at Lorcana, though.
Yeah, he's crazy at Lorcana. In that Arcana game he just walked into and won. There is some... The sky is falling because one-shots and stuff aren't on here. Again, they're modern. I can't touch modern, even though some of this is temp ban list. There are reasons for the temp ban list stuff to happen. So, we get through the cup, and we'll be okay, I think.
That's it, I think, for the temporary ban list. I did notice a lack of the X of Swords magic getting unerrated. Why wasn't she set free? Was that a mistake?
No, I'm waiting on you to tell the Moplace family where her body is, and then maybe I'll fix her.
No deal.
Yeah, I figured so.
It's hard to really predict where she is because when you're stuck in orbit around the planet, like it's not a fixed position.
It's not.
So
it's really hard to predict.
At this point, she's part of the Black Knight satellite, I think.
Yeah,
but you know,
I think that was her trajectory when he knocked her into orbit. Yeah.
No, I almost missed. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I want you to defend your reasoning for not taking magic off the unerrata.
As hard as it is to get erratas done, the only reason I got the 2 unerratas done is they're not as strong and making them work as they originally were intended just made sense. Magic still can do some silly shit.
More so than any other piece that's out there right now.
Well, like you compare her and Goblin King, that is quite a difference in like how they operate.
She's just a taxi that makes you fight a little bit faster. We're talking about pieces like Diana or Zala.
This game is
rivalry.
the most alpha in history, and you want to worry about a figure that basically sidesteps your team across the map? Hush your face.
Well, you can already do that now with the new Shadowcat and X Swap.
Yeah.
So
there's tons of
you
ways
don't even
to do
need
it.
magic.
So yeah, I think you'll be fine.
All I'm saying is
sit there.
Take a look at her. She's probably okay.
Yeah.
She was a cool piece. Let's bring her back.
Yeah.
All right. I did almost miss the addition to the permanent ban list, and that was the X-Men Xavier School Prime Professor X 037B. He was just added, right?
Yes.
Do you want to go into why that was?
He pairs into an infinite combo with the unicorn. One of the combos with the unicorn, the zombie.
And so he is.
So it was just.
Oh, go ahead. If you're gonna explain it.
No, he's fine.
Do you want to explain it?
He's. No, because I'm already having to deal with a different version of that same tech.
Okay.
Professor X enabled it really hard. Because every time something died that shared a keyword with him, you get to make more royal hatchlings. Well, guess what? All of the royal hatchlings share his keywords now.
Yep.
I still don't like that update. But
every time they die, he keeps making more, which makes it infinite.
Yeah, and every time they die, they immediately spawn. It's not after resolutions. It's as soon as they die, you make more. So it's a game interruption. Instead of letting you be like, oh, here, I can finish my attack, and then you make them. No, I have to interrupt your attack sequence to position these new bystanders because you killed stuff.
Yeah, no one's doing anything healthy with him. So his addition to the permanent ban list, he'll stay there, and we probably won't have to worry about him ever again.
Yeah. He was also a pretty good ID call-in from what I remember, too, for his time, but...
Yeah, I mean...
I figured it was just going to be the shape change and the Dream Ruby that made him real good.
No.
All right, going to the watch list. Let's see. The older pieces that have been on here for a bit, both of the Colossal Proteuses. Was anything else on here already? Maybe Mern?
Yeah. It was... the Trick Arrows were on there, too, and Elsa Bloodstone was on there, too.
And Peacemaker.
I think
so Behold.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Yao, Beholder, and the Spot were new, from what I remember.
Beholder's there because everybody's been up in arms that I put him there in the first place.
So that's why you're going to leave him
Hidari
there?
Allen's. I mean, for now, yeah.
Okay.
There are some issues that he still causes, but Hidari Yao and the Spot are things to watch. Hidari for her power of always increasing damage. 3, there are some weird interactions there, and Spot, if you haven't seen or played against Spot yet, get ready to, because he's definitely going to get played until that bike rotates. And then he'll still get played.
I still think they need to add that Shadowcat. I'm telling you. She needs to be watched.
Okay.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up the Silver List updates. We have some listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
And with only a couple hours of notice, you guys blew up the thread. So first here is going to be our local tryhard, Ryan Bookwood. Amazing job, Aaron Morgan. Don't let the Fletchers of the world tell you otherwise. What overall... What's that?
Said definitely won't.
What overall led to your decision to make everything unique? I love the idea and was hoping it would have came to be.
This wasn't just my idea. It's something I've been toyed around with, but the community, every person that did that poll and everyone that went over our poll really wanted that. So that was kind of my olive branch to you guys.
and mentioned here a year ago. Number 2.
Sorry.
Did Aaron mention the number 1 thing on the poll?
I wasn't. No, the number 1 thing was Highlander.
Okay. I thought it was everybody loved you.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought it was
Yeah,
the really like Aaron.
Or was that just a write-in vote at the end?
No, that was the second most thing according to the data. And that is not data that I made up. That is data from WizKids Direct. That is why I was given my new position at events.
I'm just going to go down all these questions. I know we've already kind of gone over a bunch of them. Any ETA for Spider-Man 043B to come off, as well as the MOE swap?
That'll be after Worlds. They're both definitely coming off the list. If I can make it happen sooner, I will. If not, then look for that same time frame.
All right. Going to McConnell Lamar, Aaron Morgan. Thanks for the continued efforts in Silver Age. I'm digging the changes. What was the thought process behind benching Butterfly?
We kind of went over that already, actually.
We sure did, in depth. Why does Maggot remain restricted with all game elements being unique?
Also went over that.
We sure did. How do you decide between frequency of play versus being problematic when you bench figures? For instance, 016 Timebreaker sees lots of play, but maybe doesn't rise to the level of being problematic.
I was waiting on the Timebreakers to be mentioned. They are seeing an uptick lately. I will say that they were on one of my lists when the set first came out. Their errata kind of pushed me away from that. TK is not as frequent anymore. I mean, per Degaton is a thing for sure.
Not anymore.
But, yeah, well, not in Silver, but in Modern.
We're only talking about Silver
Timebreakers.
Today.
I know, but I have to address the data. That's what he's asking.
Okay.
So for Timebreaker, I think they potentially see a change again. Maybe. If not, they'll probably join the temp ban list down the road. Because I know they're getting heavily played in Modern right now, which is usually how you get on the temp ban list. But I do feel like they are an option for players who play certain playstyles that need something like TK but can't get TK on their team. So it's a weird support figure / way to reposition your opponent when you need to.
So you might not be able to predict
I don't know, maybe they do
this far out, but if you were to, let's say, give a piece like Timebreaker out, would you also get rid of the Pog, or would it be kind of like a Plastic Man scenario where if you play the bystander, then you would be able to get these guys into the game?
I have to do a clarification on that. So there's already a figure that can kind of do that loophole right now. If you play Master Mold and for some reason you get the factory dial to 100 points, even if it's from outside the game, you can't make Bastion. He's just not allowed. So I would have to say I'd have to take both Timebreakers because the Pog doesn't work without the others.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah, then it's just 25-point phasing prob.
For prob. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want a 25-point prob, go for it, but he's not going to do the cool thing everybody wants him to do.
And then,
so Aaron, this decisions come largely, you've said several times, from data. So I'm assuming you're getting that from units, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then people then also, there is like a committee, or there's a conversation between several people where you're getting these additional lists and stuff.
So
it's
I have a judge cabal. I mean, I bounced off you guys. I bounced off of some of my locals that I trust. I bounced stuff off of some of the groups I'm close with, like Earthbound. Like, I try to hit almost every region in the country while I'm working on these kind of lists. Stuff like the poll helped, where it was like, here's the community speaking out loud. Look at these things. So it kind of guided me in a couple directions, just to be like, yeah, this is definitely the right call, or yeah, I can see where this is becoming a problem. Let's get ahead of it. there is a team, and I am gonna give them all some love. I think at the Cup or in a post soon, just so everybody knows. Like, yeah, I'm the face that is everywhere, and you guys talk to all the time. But there are people and other players and other judges that I talk about this stuff with all the time. I don't just pull it out of a bag.
So it's fair to say that by the time these decisions reach us, these are fairly well discussed and reasoned through decisions.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, that makes sense. I always thought you put like a lot of time and effort into everything you've done, so I couldn't imagine this wouldn't be the same thing. Wouldn't be well thought, you know.
Yeah, if anything, I wanted this list out sooner. That's my only complaint. I wanted everything out at least at Adepticon, if not right before Adepticon, because it wasn't going to affect Adepticon.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the posts, and I've seen where the players have responded to me and been like, this is more for WizKids to read.
Now, would you prefer that people tag you more frequently in posts like that?
I think I'm basically everywhere at this point. I'm constantly scrolling, or if I've got 5 seconds to breathe at work, I kind of like scroll through the HeroClix groups to see if anybody said anything. Like, I'm really diligent about when people talk about silver. I don't think that's not seen by everybody. Unless you just
told you
me.
his. He already told you his
Right.
phone's at like 5% after like several hours. Leave the man's phone alone, Redmond.
Well,
You
and
need to buy him
so,
a battery pack or something.
and as much as my wife would love for me to turn my phone off most days, I feel like that's where the difference is with me. I want to have the conversations. I want to be seen. I want to talk about my format. So it's hard for me to not have those discussions, good, bad, whatever. Like, let's have them, because it helps the format. There's not like an entity that just doesn't do anything. Like, there's someone here and is listening to you guys and is doing his best to work with you guys to get this format where we all want it. And yeah, there's some things some people don't like, and that's fine. I can't make everybody happy. But overall, everyone really enjoys silver, and they've definitely spoke up about it. And today is a good example of, like, look how positive some of these questions are. The main post I did in Players and Collectors. There are 3 actual negative comments that don't actually have anything to do with the update. And the ones that are like, I don't like this, are still communicating with everyone on the post. Like, that's what I've been going for, guys. Communication within the community about the format from everyone who plays in the format or wants to play in the format and just doesn't because something they like isn't legal right now. Those are what this format is for, those people.
So what is your opinion on people that want to give their opinion on a format like Silver that would never even play it no matter how good it was? And maybe they just want to talk about how things were 15 to 20 years ago, and that's about it. Or how expensive pieces are, or something random that has nothing to do with Silver.
I've said this since the heated discussion happened. If your stance is, I just don't like Silver, I don't want to play it, and that's the only thing you say, okay. That's great. I'm sorry I didn't win you over. I'm glad you have Modern to play. If you're able to make it to the big events, that's great for you. That's where I think a lot of the misunderstanding came from earlier this year. I am okay with people saying they don't like it. If you don't play it and you don't like it, that's fine. But if you don't play at all and you don't like it, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Do you think maybe those people should just go away and not participate in conversations about HeroClix when they don't play?
A hard one.
No, it's not.
Because in reality,
Agree with me.
No. Hold on.
No.
No. No, I won't agree. And I'll tell you why I won't agree. Like, I know what you're saying, and yes, part of me agrees with you. Part of me, the part of me that has worked really hard on this format, wants to win that person over.
Ooh.
If it's able to be done. But I can't walk away from a conversation where they're having an actual conversation with me. Like, if you're not really talking to me about the format, then eventually I just zone you out. Because you're not really doing anything good or bad to the format. You're just being a fly on the wall / whatever you want to call it. But if you're involved, trying to keep up with stuff, something about the game is keeping you around, whether you actively play right now or not. If you're still around and trying to have discussions, you're a player I am trying to get back. That's what I want. Because you probably still have your collection, unless you just completely got out.
Well, they're the same types of people usually. Usually those are the same people that have to say 7 times that they're selling their collection on Facebook pages.
Right. Sometimes. Not all the time. But it's a lot of work to do, and I'm here for it. I'm approachable at events, states, Origins, Adepticon, Worlds. I don't hide. You guys are going to know where I'm at because you're going to see me the first thing at every event going forward. So it's... I don't want to walk away from a player who's trying to be active if they're trying to be active for the right reasons. Does that make sense?
It does. That sounds like quite a task, though.
It is, but I do it. And I've been open about the times where I just had to put the phone down and be like, I can't today. But I'm still here. I'm still doing it.
Okay. Let's go to number 4. Are there any changes that you pushed for that didn't make it through? Can you talk about any of them?
Oh, Lord. Besides the generics and the figures that are meant to be played in multiples, I talked about that. Let me double check that I didn't miss anything. Oh, Super Rare Watcher is supposed to be banned. I am working on getting that addressed. He's definitely not supposed to be legal in play.
And that's the one that swaps the figure, right? At the beginning of the game?
Yeah, that's the what if tokens.
Yep.
It's definitely not supposed to be on there.
No.
In fact, I may make that a part of my announcement for tomorrow just in case they don't update it. He is definitely not going to be legal for the cup. That'll be on the Rock Facebook page, and I'll get that shared as many places as I can and ask other players that play Silver Age to share it as well. But yeah, no Watcher shenanigans. He was definitely supposed to be on the ban list, and he got overlooked somehow on the opposite end.
That's the permanent ban list, right?
Yeah, he's gone. Because I wanted to fix him to where he would work like the other stuff that does similar effects where they swap into the same click number. That version of it would have been fine because then the him and Starro trick puts the Starro on the click 16 and now you have to have support or it doesn't work.
Okay.
So if they're not gonna if they're not gonna give me that, then he's just gone.
So it will actually be accurate to the character because he's actually doesn't ever really mess with anything. He just watches. So you just have him off the sideline, not even on your sideline, just watching your games. I think that's accurate to the character.
Just not seen.
I would love for someone to bring the old 2x2 watcher for that. Have it off, not sitting off of the game, just watching.
And then McConnell's last question is, do you have a $10 dark side for sale? So what do you think this guy is going to cause this guy to drop to? Because he got to $100, didn't he?
Yeah, he was 100.
And then
I don't think he ever got that. I don't remember him getting that high.
Really?
Yeah, there was a few that sold for 100 and then it dropped to 90.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then 75, 80-ish, yeah. But no, at peak it was $100.
What is he before this release? Would you say he's like 65?
I'd say between 50 and 65, yeah, somewhere in that range.
So yeah, $10
So
is probably gonna be cheap.
Yeah, $10 to $20, 30 at the highest. There are still dark side fans out there. In general, it is a really good dark side sculpt and crazy on dial stats. He'll be really fun with the parademons in games where everyone is on the same page about how he works. So I think he'll hold some value. He won't completely tank, but this will definitely bring him down.
I don't think he'll
And
be
also
under
don't
40.
forget the dark side. I don't own that dark side. I said that on the post. My favorite dark side is one that's not even silver legal. It's the board game dark side. So I've been collecting parademons to play with him.
He looks cool.
He looks like the parademon. He's even
amazing.
got the portal.
We're a full service podcast. Somebody get Mechanical Dark Side for $10.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
That would be quite the deal. All right, moving to Wes Robertson, who's joining us after taking a week off from sending us questions. Number 1, can Miles even build a silver team without more than one bike?
If he already listened to the beginning, which I'm sure he did, I can play more than one bike because there's only 3 things that say it is not unique. It's a glider and both motorcycles. It gets around the silver rule.
Also, your silver team last year did not have a bike on it, if I'm not mistaken. So
It didn't have a bike on it, but I can build teams with more than one bike, even with the Highlander rule.
No. He's saying without more than one.
Well, but yeah, Miles is saying that the question's incorrect because you can play more than one bike, which we should definitely clarify our opinion on it versus Aaron's opinion on it, because Aaron, your opinion on that's going to matter a little bit more than ours.
It's going to have to change it, because it says that everything is unique, and their cards specifically say not unique.
So where do you land on that one? We need an official answer.
You're not gonna get one right now. I'll go over it tomorrow.
All right, that definitely needs an answer.
My phone is still going off while we're doing this.
All right, Monty Python Iconics. What would you include? I don't know Monty Python too good, but I do think we need that killer rabbit that flies around.
The killer rabbit, and I want. Hold on, the Black Knight needs to be just like the Build It Hulkbuster.
And then you can remove pieces when you take damage, like Sakari and Iron Man.
Yes.
Yes, but actually take the pieces off.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's actually falling apart. Yeah.
Princess.
I mean, don't you need the Holy Grail then too? I mean.
Oh yeah, that would be a good item.
Holy Grail as equipment would be fun. If we're talking about funny gimmicks, it would be cool to have a sidekick style character that does the horse clopping, and it's like walking force blast within 2 or some weird thing. It would be funny.
Princess Bride Iconics, and same question. I don't even remember that movie that well. Someone else want to take that?
If it gets me another Andre the Giant and a 5-fingered swordsman, I'm for it. Whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We need them all. We need a Inigo Montoya, Fezzik, Vizzini, all of them. Dread Pirate Roberts, all of them. I love that movie. Billy Crystal's character too. What's his name? Max. Something Max.
Miracle
Max.
Max.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a great question, Wes.
Savage. Because this is where the one thing where I'm like, I'd even be okay with a Deadpool shoehorned into it.
Into a Princess Bride Iconic set?
Yeah, because Deadpool read Fred Savage, the Princess Bride.
That is the connection.
Okay.
For was it Deadpool 2? They had like the alternate Blu-ray version where it had scenes of him reading
the
Princess Bride to an adult
PG-13 version.
Fred Savage. No, I think it was the unrated one.
Oh, I thought there was a separate thing. All right. Anyway, is the age?
I want to answer.
Sorry, go ahead.
You guys did a lot from the Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail, which is a great movie. You missed such highlights as Tim the Enchanter.
Oh, we're gonna do Young Frankenstein too, or no? That's
Yeah,
not Monty Python.
yeah. You could have had the Knights Who Say Need. You could have a shrubbery because that's what they wanted. You could also do tons of things from the Flying Circus, such as the Ministry of Silly Walks. This is really an untapped potential. Wes is a great question. If anybody at WizKids wants ideas for Monty Python, I'm there for you. Brilliant. And I love the Princess Bride. Thank you.
This talk just makes me want to make a really funny Robin Hood Men in Tights iconics.
Ooh, I'd be all for that one.
Lend me your ears.
I have one of those carrot cutting machines.
Wait, Dan, did you say Young Frankenstein?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I went. Way
That was
left
Mel
field.
Brooks.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, that was not Monty Python, but it's still good too. I would love a Dr. Frankenstein.
But that's where it went Robin Hood Men in Tights, because that's where it tied together the Cary Elwes and Mel Brooks connection with.
Dude, a Spaceballs iconic? Come on.
Spaceballs the set, or Spaceballs the Iconics?
Yeah.
That's
We're not gonna
exactly
get
what it's
Star
called.
Wars.
And everyone would know that joke that knows Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you could finally look at your opponent and say, I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Oh, getting equipment, the Schwartz as equipment, and you have to actually put it in your hand. Oh, yes.
I'm going to move us along here.
Schwartz ring.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna move us
No,
along.
you're good. Go ahead.
Number 3, is the age of small point swarm teams over? I think they're going to start back up, honestly. We've gotten a lot of newer things that create bystanders again, and all of the goons. I think that they're actually about to pop off again.
Agreed.
Well, if you're talking about silver, I feel like they're still good. It's just you don't have the multi-spam anymore, so you just have to play different ones, but you can still make it work.
There is phase 2 still coming. We shall see.
Yeah. Some of the
Generics.
generics may definitely see play.
And then we are
All right.
graced with a Westpool question. So far, Ryan and Aaron have been the only men on this podcast brave enough to be a guest on Talkin' Clicks. When will Dan, Pete, and Miles go on the show?
When I have free time, I have 5 kids, and I'm back at work.
Have you considered not having as many kids?
And it's not going to work.
Yeah,
now.
of course, but I mean, unfortunately,
Why do we not have a Heath Slater drop for Miles? I got kids, man.
Ooh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's it. We'll add that one.
I feel like that works for any of you except for me. That's why I'm the only one that drop wouldn't work for.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we only have
I'm not a
meme
huge
for
fan
you.
of that. I don't.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Dan's just waking up neighbors.
Dan, do you
That's
accept...
why I don't have neighbors. I think the closest neighbors are half a mile away.
Actually, here you go, Ryan. I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready for the Dan update at Huntington's? I feel like it's gonna get worse.
They weren't great before.
Hey, those
They
are
were
gold.
fantastic.
77 miles per hour. Okay.
I would wake up to quite a few messages that were escalating.
He had us walk to Nashville North. That's far from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That was
Tennessee.
ridiculous.
And then back too. It was rough.
Yeah, it's just a few blocks, guys. Fuck.
He failed
I'm
math.
just thinking of like titles, like we got the Bookwood Report, right? Could we have like the Dan line instead of Dateline?
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Now, Dan, what about Westpool's question about going on Talkin' Clicks?
Has hell frozen over yet?
Dang, just
No.
full against it.
Actually, yes, it actually just got done freezing because Hell, Michigan freezes every year.
You obscure factoids.
Just saying, there's a Hell, Michigan, and it freezes every year. So yes, it has frozen.
Pete, do you have an answer for Westpool's question about Talkin' Clicks?
You know, Wes, I'm first of all, welcome back. I'm glad to see you and the questions, and I'm glad to see the community did not roast you this week in the questions. But have your people talk to my people. We'll figure something out at some point. And it'll have to be a week when the sweatshop's not open. So
Not this week, then.
I only have some. I only have so many hours, and Redmond already told me mandatory overtime's the thing this week. So.
Wait, he said mandatory overtime for you? He just told me this was my work schedule. I'm not even getting overtime.
Better
Dan, you're
believe
not
it.
even getting paid.
I know.
It's child labor. That's child labor.
You just said I get fed, which is like, I guess it's something.
I'm not feeding you.
I know you just said I'm getting fed. You never said how I'm getting fed.
Oh, yeah, you can feed yourself. Make yourself some cereal or something. That's what I tell my kids. Moving on to William Day Roker. No one-shots are even on the watch list. That's a good question. Can you touch on that at all, Aaron?
We did already.
We did, yeah. A couple times.
Someone else is doing that job.
Okay, so there are...
Yeah, it's an exclusive.
Remember, I'm the person
And
that's
one shot.
Just made the list!
that's just trying to create the conversation here. I'm aware that we talked about the one-shots and possibly things are going on behind the scenes with Modern and all that stuff. So somebody was generous and added a question. This one is about something that we did previously talk about slightly, but maybe a nice little reminder because they specifically asked about it, and I want to specifically commend them for taking the time to write in especially this episode that had a very small window to get your questions in.
Okay, sweatshop. They're not on the watch list for silver because I need to see what's going to happen to them in other areas first. That is the only reason they're not there, and that's because if they get mutilated or changed in some crazy way, then they don't need to be on my watch list because they've already been handled. I'll say it again, just say it again too. Some of the things that aren't on my list are on someone else's list, and that's why I didn't address them.
Now, saying that again does not mean that you won't have to say it again, but thank you.
Watch me. Watch me.
I have a question.
For who?
What?
Are we sure we're saying William Day Roker's name right? And it's not William Day Rocher.
No,
I'm
I have
pretty
no
sure
clue, and he will not tell me. But until he puts an extra N on my last name in the ELO, I don't give a shit.
Wait.
Have you messaged him about it?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
he might not have. I was like, he might not
Well,
know.
then that's
Yeah. He just wouldn't know.
There was a good,
It's on my name. My
What,
name
would
is
you
all
say-
over the place.
but there was a good 5 years where I didn't know there were two N's on your name.
How?
And then I told you, when you finally pointed it out, I said, you'll earn the N someday. Like, well, we're going to hold on to that second N until you
Well,
get it
maybe he's
back.
waiting for your ELO rating to go up high enough before he actually acknowledges the second N.
Maybe
Maybe he's waiting for you to earn it.
it's a little harder in the Midwest.
Also, the second N hasn't dropped yet.
I went out there and did fine.
I just want to laugh and say I'm still above Redmond, and I sat at the registration desk all weekend.
Rigged.
Yeah, okay.
Are we sure
Yeah.
we're saying your name right? Rebman, not Rebmanin?
I don't even know.
These are questions I need answered.
I feel like I say my name slightly different every time. If I can avoid saying my last name, I do. Moving on to Rob Peterson. If you were to make a Silver Surfer figure, how would you make it different than every offering of the character that we've had to date? Bonus points if it isn't the same old run and gun piece we've always gotten. So I don't know Silver Surfer well enough to honestly answer this question, because to me he seems like a hypersonic Pensai piece. Is there something more special he should do?
Yes, I wanted there. Well, I guess that's the easy way to look at it. But Silver Surfer is also someone that is a protector, and it would be cool if you had something similar to like Prime Captain Marvel, but instead of him becoming the target, you're able to roll the 2d6, and if your roll is higher than their attack, I think that it should be him attacking them. for them to be dealt his printed damage.
Not just an evade like the Nimrod.
No,
or
not
something
an
like
evade.
that?
No, yeah. So you roll it. Yeah. So you obviously gonna be a prime, and you make it a pretty decent piece. But yeah, that'll make a difference. A character within his range, you give him about a 6 range. Friendly character within range and line of fire. Sort of like Better Bill, but instead of evading it, because Better Bill is trying to save someone, whereas Surfer will go out there and attack to protect. And so yeah, if you're able to get roll your 2d6 and the attack is higher, then the attackers dealt Silver Surfer's printed damage.
I think something that interacts with terrain would be really cool because like his whole thing is he tracks down planets for Galactus. So like something that interacts with terrain.
You know what? There you go. We have planets. He should be able to one-shot planets. Yeah.
There we go. There you go.
Whatever it is.
It's
He
him
needs
calling
to be able to deal
Galactus.
with planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Galactus, yes. The Planet Eater. Like, we're getting planets. Like, this is made for Galactus to eat.
I mean, Mogo's gonna be wild, so yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, Galactus needs to eat planets.
So what about we take a Silver Surfer, and I like your Protector idea, Miles, but what about we get a Silver Surfer that has something like the Converter Dial as a trait, but it's not a dial, but it's like a trait. Like touches all 4 corners of the map, and then it triggers an effect. If it gets to 7 on both sides of the map, like as it shrinks the map, you could summon Galactus from your sideline.
I think that'd be neat.
Something like that,
Yeah.
like a way to
Absorbing
summon
Man.
Galactus. Yeah, something like that, where it's like the converters on the planet, but it's a way that he interacts with it. It doesn't have to have like the Galactus we have right now. Making someone a herald, like Surfer should be able to activate that and summon Galactus. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
I'd give him the dolphin symbol because he's a surfer.
See, that's thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
See? Next
Maybe
thing you know,
he can generate water
you're
terrain.
getting your ELO rating up. You're starting to understand the secrets to being a better player.
Pete, did you have anything for Silver Surfer?
That's a pretty good answer. Yeah, I would like the Silver Surfer, the Fallen One, Obsidian Surfer, where he had Mjolnir. It was at the end of one of the end of time stories. I think Thor, was it Thor comic, Dan?
Yes.
He
you talking
showed
about...
up with Mjolnir.
Yes.
And he was the Obsidian Surfer.
He was technically the Fallen one, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like the Fallen get remade. Actually, that would be cool.
Yeah. He also had the Annihilation Wave with him too, so that would be pretty wild if they were doing that with a full stop.
All right, we got Peter Marshfield. The Silver update is solid, and I'm excited to see where this takes the format. With that put aside, what are some game elements you want to see rise up to help flesh out the meta?
I guess are we talking Silver, Modern, or
This is the Silver episode.
That's what I figured. I was gonna go with Silver, but
Yeah, you only have there's only one answer, Dan, for you. I'm gonna give you a chance. There's only one right answer for you. Let's see what you think.
Is it not Goblet Torch?
It's Legacy Odin. Just your answer.
He's not technically. I mean, he is technically Silver, but he's the modern half of Silver.
Yeah, but he's gonna rise up to help flesh out the meta because you're gonna have Collector out there, and so you're gonna have him. So the 2 big tent poles with no more, Kong or Darkseid is you're gonna have Collector and you're gonna have Odin.
No, you still have Trigon. Like he's still running around.
I guess you can Trigon. Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm still. I'm hoping it's on someone's list is the Trigon Soul Sword
interaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think collecting Trigon was the funniest thing I've done so far with Collector.
That's.
I actually really think Supergirl could be good. I mean, with Collector rising up, I'm surprised that no one looks at her just because she's constantly +1 stats or +2.
See, I think the update itself honestly just makes the format a little healthier until the the bench lists update after Worlds, so I'm not sure. I want to see like a Spider-Man family team rise up. It's more about, I think, neater themes that I want to see rather than like one element here or there. I want to see just a variety of theme teams.
Yeah,
We can,
yeah. I see
I still
modern that
think-
same weekend, so I
I still
haven't
think
really
we're gonna
like
do that.
deep.
The states showed that lots of different theme teams can rise up in places people didn't expect. I still expect to see that at the Cup, especially now. Like, scrolls are real good all of a sudden.
Yeah, like stuff
I
like
hope
that
so.
I think would be really cool to see. My point is like it was hard to play theme because Darkseid was a thing. So you had to do Butterfly or have an on-force answer for him, things like that. So now that you have gotten rid of a lot of the worst things that were remaining, it opens it up to have a lot more options played, staying on theme. So it's not really one element that I'm really looking forward to. It's more of like it is more open, and I want to see some cool theme teams come out of it.
Agreed.
Will the format ever reach a point like most other card games have where you have your control build, more aggro build, or a Zerg offense? I think it already kind of has that, no?
I think it already has. Yeah, and this is not. It's
Silver even
this
more
isn't-
so.
That's yeah, and you can't really compare it to card games, like at all. But if you want to look at like a card game control build, like there is control. That's the mind control, which with the Starro and the Colossus build that there was. The more aggro builds, which have always been there for the the Alpha Strikes, and then the Zerg offense. We've seen it ran a few times with the Swarmy teams. It just depends on what is out currently from new sets for modern or even in silver. Like sometimes there's a diamonds in the rough that someone's going to discover. But those three have always been a linchpin of hero clicks in itself. There's just so many different ways to run those kinds that it doesn't look like an aggro control or the swarm build at first, because you can't just look at a team like you can a deck and know how it works, if that makes sense.
And would you guys agree too that that's more obvious in silver though versus like modern? You have to kind of do a little bit of everything, but with those extra 100 points in silver, you can kind of really dive into that type of build.
Yeah, look at the last few Rock Cups. The one with the Lucas one, like that's a straight aggro build.
Right.
It doesn't matter what kind of map you're on. He just wipes you. The control build the year before, we had 2 Legacy Thanos that were controlling you with the mind control in the finals. The Zerg offense is the only one that really hasn't seen it because the Swarmy is like the lesser of those 3 builds. But yeah, we've seen control builds with the mind controls, the aggro builds, like even like my Starro Mjolnir build, like that's an aggro build. I get full map, on a small map. I can also get full map on big maps. And so that would technically be an aggro build because I'm able to get 5 attacks, 14 attacks, 7 damage from 13 away. There's just so many different ways to do an aggro and control in cliX compared to card games. But I think Silver is almost always a controller aggro, more so than modern.
Did you guys want to add anything to that one?
No, I think that pretty much covered it, actually. It would be
Yeah.
cool to see a Zerg offense, like, appear and work the way it needs to. It'd be something to, like, enjoy seeing on the field.
Number 3. I know you just made the announcement, but has there been any consideration for a restricted equipment list? It kind of seems unnecessary, and I don't really want to limit the toy box, but a little part of me is still looking for the chance to pull out the all black on occasion. I'm not sure what all would deserve to be on that list, or that all black should return since the witches are still aren't legal, but it's just spitballing an idea. Now, technically,
No, he's throwing motorcycle on it.
Technically, isn't the restricted list an open list where you could add that stuff?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a game element list, right? Just like anything else. It's not restricted to like characters itself.
So I did push for a change to all black. They shut it down, which is why it got the ban.
Was that for the knockback portion? Was that the change?
That wouldn't that and having to choose which rollout you don't get. That was part of my change. You don't get they either get super senses or they get shape change. They don't get both. Swing. It was a way to try to mitigate the power of it. Because I mean, if you put it on Prime Spider-Man, almost all your rollout teams just explode. And we are in a super heavy rollout format right now. But I feel like if I just bring it back, the Spider-Man style stuff just takes over the format as a whole. So it's hard. Like, if All Black was here, the Skrulls would have never made Top Cut.
Right.
And so it's like, that was a good enough example for me of like, because I took one equipment away, look at this thing that existed and made Top Cut. Because if the equipment exists, they just don't ever see play. And for me, and I've said it every time we talk about the Skrulls, Skrulls have not been a top contender in a long time. So for the Skrull theme team to show up and show out made me happy as a player.
So what about if Prime Spider-Man and the All Black both went on the restricted list?
I think I might have a riot happen then. But, I mean, maybe. I can try to discuss it with them and see what they say.
All right, going to number 4. What gives Ryan the biggest amount of excitement? Arachnite wins Rock Cup with Prime Blue Beetle, or someone makes a Gambit meta viable and Gambit wins Rock Cup. Why do neither of these matter, however, because we all know nothing gets him to put on sleeves more than X-Men 97 set. Yeah, both those are pretty great, but it's just a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, he was wrong about the end.
Huh?
He just said put on sleeves. Like, no, if nothing gets him to take off his shirt more than the X-Men 97 set.
Yeah, I don't think
he doesn't put on sleeves when he's happy.
Yeah,
shirt off.
He's real angry when the sleeves go on.
Yeah, X-Men 97 definitely wouldn't cause more clothes to go on.
I read that question and I thought you're lucky he's wearing pants right now.
Yeah, exactly.
He was wearing pants. I wager that he's not currently after those sentences.
I would probably go with the Arachnite and Prime Beetle combo.
Really not Gambit?
I don't know. He does say that a new Gambit would need to get made. That's the problem, is that there's not exciting Gambits, whereas I have a lot of fun playing Arachnite and Blue Beetle. So it would need to be a new Gambit that doesn't exist. But then that would compete with the Arachnite Blue Beetle combo. He's talking about both pieces on the same team.
Man, I just got a Legacy the House X one, I feel like, and there's your.
That would be
base,
close.
at least,
That's the favorite one that I have to play right now. All right, and then lastly, assuming HeroClix grows to global popularity, just like how any one of the other collectible games had a TV show where the whole world is focused on that game exclusively, and sports betting involved clicks. If you were to gamble on a game element being on the winning build for Rock Cup, what would it be and why? My bet is on Glengrove Cemetery because it's like Wakanda, but with even less spaces to hide. Well, that's a Pete favorite right there, Glengrove Cemetery, isn't it, Pete?
It's a great map.
It is not a great map. That's not a bad question, though. Where are we thinking the most popular items are going to be with the new ban list?
Oh, that's easy. Emo mob.
Mimic.
What about not sideline?
Ultra Chase Collector. Silver
Motorcycle.
is his playground.
That's a good one.
It's going to be motorcycle.
I think Collector's a better. Well, I guess Collector could have the motorcycle.
And then they're going to figure out that you can play more than one motorcycle, and then motorcycles going to get added to the restricted list.
Okay. Yeah. The bench list just for you.
You know what? Bench it. You know, just ban it. You know, just put it right next to Donnie Blaze.
You know what I want made as an equipment? Oh, hold on, let me get the name of it. This is just for you, Miles.
Spear. Axe.
Nope. We need a Scooty Puffs Jr.
What?
just for Miles.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
What is it?
So there's an episode. There's a couple episodes in Futurama where Fry has to fight the flying brains, and to save the world, he has the Scooty Puff Senior and the Scooty Puff Junior in 2 different episodes. It's basically like a hover bike.
Uh huh.
Yes, I sent a picture. I
But
was
it's
ready.
made for like kindergartners, so it goes like a mile per hour.
Yeah, and like, it even has a popper on it. I'm sold.
Yeah. So I would like that to exist just so Miles could be like, I got Scooty Puff Jr.
Yeah. Scooty Puff Jr. or no Scooty Puff Jr.? Always Scooty Puff Jr.
Anyway, I think Ultra Chase Collector is going to see a massive uptick. Maybe he wins it. I just think there are so many options for him, equipment-wise in Silver, that there will be so many variations of his build.
Yeah, but with the question specifically asking about gambling. So you've thrown down money. You're going to throw money saying that Collector's going to win Rock Cup?
Well, he mentions
especially after today.
Yeah, that's a pretty good bet, honestly. That's the thing. That's the figure that I would say the most, but I would put Brock's Bunker over Glengrove.
And even over Collector, there's a 15-point Zenzi. People get your Zenzis ready. Get ready for it.
Zenzi's great, but you think she's got a better chance of making the winning team than Collector?
No, that's why I said motorcycle. I think motorcycle.
Nah, I still think it's the emo mod, honestly, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That's underplayed. I don't know how people weren't playing it more, unless they were just considering Colossus.
Yeah, that's why, exactly. So you look at it, and so with Colossus, it didn't matter.
Yeah, but now it does.
Yeah, now it will see an uptick in play, for sure.
Pete, do you have an answer?
Universal weapon.
Okay, that's not bad.
Choice.
I don't disagree with anything you guys said. Ultra Chase Collector would be the figure I would pick. The map, I mean, my only thing with Silver and maps is people either build small or they build for the larger maps. So I think that one's kind of hard to predict. But I think as far as like most useful equipment right now for the cost and everything, it has to be the universal weapon.
Yeah.
Now you don't need to build TK.
Ooh, what about the copycat Pog?
That's great too. That thing's
You
disgusting.
can't play more than one. She's not good anymore.
What?
Oh yeah, because 15 points for what she does is totally not good. Yeah.
No, you got to play. You need two. Yeah, she's not good unless you can play multiples.
Sure.
I'm gonna disagree, having just played one of them.
Yeah.
She's
she's insane.
Safest bet. What about Timebreaker? That's a good one right there.
Get them roaches out of here.
Yeah.
All right, moving to Joseph Coleman Harrison. Was the Ghost Rider ban deserved?
You know what you did, Joe?
Yeah, I agree. Get that asshole out of here. Number 2. Since the Ghost Rider ban obviously wasn't deserved, except it was, how do I actually play HeroClix without using Ghost Rider?
There's a 5-point
Get used to not having powers.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You're going to have to adapt there. Get used to losing your powers here and there.
You could also play Paviter Spider-Man if you really, really want to get your powers back.
Yes, please play him.
Or just play and protect the Scott, PJ, and Lucas Pog, and there you go. It's got to survive, but you get a little bit of Rider in your team.
I don't think that either of those that replace the way he was using Ghost Rider.
Oh no!
No. So yeah, you can play Ghost Rider. There's plenty of other Ghost Riders, but like if you like want that, like there's Hell Cycle, and like that will make any character you play a Ghost Rider. That's how you play.
Oh no! I will out him. He messaged me and said since I can't play that one, he was gonna bring back Mammoth Rider. So
Oh,
he
that's a
doesn't
good
show
idea.
up to an event with Mammoth Rider, I'm gonna call him out.
Maybe on
Yeah,
the
you better
sideline.
play. Yeah, if you said you're gonna play Mammoth Rider, no, main force Mammoth Rider.
Well, which point value? Because man, that 100 points is kind of tough.
Yeah, because the 300 one is
Whatever
worth it.
point value.
I didn't
Yeah.
say the 300 point was it either, but
Isn't the 100 point like
That's like
4 clicks?
yeah, no, it's like 6, but it's only sidestep.
Yeah, it's really
And then
rough.
you have the really wonky like retail power that's hard to pull off. Like it's very not easy.
Yeah, so you play him mystical with the Moon Knight swap, and you give him a motorcycle.
Sure.
Or you could just play him with Elsa, and she could just give it to him for free without having to swap.
No, because you're going to be using a different prime.
Fair.
Joe,
Yeah.
I would say enjoy him in Modern while he lasts, and then maybe he'll come back in a year and a half.
Oh, I thought you were talking about enjoy Mammoth Rider in Modern. I'm like, what?
No one's enjoying Mammoth Rider in Silver either. All right, number 3.
Joe.
Since 65% of my Champion Clix Open team was banned, does this indicate that I am a legendary team builder or that I'm a sucky player who got carried away by good pieces, or both? What else was on the team? So it was Ghost Rider. What'd you say, Dan?
Prime Colossus.
And Timebreakers, right? It was Kevin, Timebreakers,
Oh, and
Ghost
Kevin.
Rider, Colossus, and Cherry Panther, right?
Yes. I think it's probably both. I think you did a good job bringing a Ghost Rider to the win, but at the same time, Kevin, Colossus, and still Ghost Rider. So we'll go with both.
Now, if you played a motorcycle, I would say it's because you're a legendary team builder.
I think he did on Colossus, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had motorcycle on Colossus.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did. Hold on, I can
I'm checking it right now.
We have the ability.
But do we have the technology?
We do have the technology as well.
Nope, just the ability with no technology. Because I know he had a bunch of time breakers. Oh, he had the
Yeah.
PJ Scott
Yeah.
Pog, I think, too. He did?
Yep.
All right, there
Hey,
you
the
go.
motorcycle. So I
look
think
at me
you're right
having
there.
it.
I think so. You're going to replace Colossus with Juggernaut. You're going to place Ghost Rider with Mammoth Ghost Rider because you already said you were going to. You can now play Kevin. You can't play Cherry Panther, but that's fine. You can, or Perdegaton. So that's going to leave you with another 50 points. So yeah, there's plenty of other stuff. I mean, you can, and you have sideline options. You can, put Spot on the build too. You can pretty much play the same team.
Naren, that's actually a good point. How come Kevin, who has seen like a huge uptick in play, didn't make the list?
That is true.
Within the last month is why.
Just because his play has increased over the last month?
Well, you can't
no,
play one with Collector. So
Yeah, in Silver Age, if you play Collector, you can't play Kevin.
So
Till
I think
after
that,
World.
and the other figures that he made better, like they're on the temporary ban list. Colossus,
Oh, so-
Ghost Rider.
I mean, you just play Collector with Q. Woo.
How are those two related, Collector and Kevin?
They're
They're
both
Marvel
modern
figures.
right now.
And they were just on the winning build from Adepticon?
Yeah, but look at all the stuff that just made the bench list. It's still just crazy good support that's seeing a ton of play, like Death Metal Wonder Woman or Perdegaton, Cher Panther, all that stuff.
Longer than Kevin, you're missing my point. Kevin's seen an uptick in the last month and a half. Everything else on that list has seen play since it released.
Okay, so there's a chance then maybe
It's like,
after Worlds, because he's not
Yeah,
going to
it-
slow down.
no, he's not going to slow down in Modern, so he gets addressed post Worlds more than likely. But right now, you can't play him with Collector or most of the really good stuff that's left unless you're building under the 200 point limit.
Okay.
Especially with him rotating to, or most likely, rotating to silver after Worlds too.
So if he just continues to see a rise, then he should definitely end up on my we need to address him list, right?
Okay. Going to question number 4. If my team wins the Highlander event at Rock Cup, what powers and abilities should I give the Ghost Rider Pog that we make? First Pog that gets a pilot, or should we go ahead and get the ball rolling on a legacy card for 048 Ghost Rider for when he rotates later this year? I think the legacy card on, if you're really set on Ghost Rider, I think the legacy card for 048 Ghost Rider would be ideal. That sculpt is really cool, and I think it would be way better to bring him back than just
The
a tiny
legacy
little Pog.
card, though, is for the fellowship, right?
Yeah, that's right. Not winning. Yeah, that's right.
Well, it depends on
gonna...
what event. So there's one event that might be the main event where you get.
Well, he said my
first...
team.
I don't know what the event is,
Highlander event.
but there's
right,
one event. One event where first picks of the 3, second gets to pick the remaining 2, and then Fellowship gets the third. I don't know what that is though. Aaron, do you know what the prizing is for the team event?
I'm pulling it up now.
But if you're gonna do a legacy card for Ghost Rider, you have to, for that one specifically, you have to actually give him the damnations there. It can't just be.
Right. The invitational first place gets to design a bystander or pick a legacy or design a map.
Oh, the map. Okay, that was the third one. So yeah, they'd be able to pick either one of those if they win. But I would say legacy card. What do you guys vote?
I don't think that the legacy card would make Ghost Rider the same. So, and I would just say get your Pog made for what you want to make it similar to him, where they can't use the powers. I think you have a better chance of getting a Pog that does that over a legacy card that will be exactly the same.
I will reiterate, it says pick a legacy, not design a legacy.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
What does that mean?
You pick
you just pick the figure?
You pick a figure and then that gets...
Oh.
Yeah.
But they was that not how the cap was he picked, or was that actually like allocated where it was design of legacy for the legacy cap?
No, it was picked. Yeah. You could throw them. Calder went into detail. You can like throw ideas, but like you're not designing it. You can say this would be cool if they did this or this, but yeah.
I didn't know enough about the background of it, so.
And then Powell went over it with his Iron Man about how he wasn't happy with because it wasn't what he wanted.
That's how it was worded both years, though. Was pick?
Yes. I don't think it was pick 3 years ago. I think it was design.
And that was the Leech was 3 years ago, right? Or which one was 3 years ago? Yeah.
For sure it was Leech.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Legacy card all day. And I would bring Mama back.
That wasn't the question, Pete.
Mammoth Ghost Rider.
Let Dark Phoenix out, boys.
That was not the question.
I mean, Pete doesn't care whether
Joe wants to bring back the Ghost Rider that's currently going to go to the bench list. So would it be better to make a Pog Ghost Rider or a legacy card for the 048 Ghost Rider?
I think the Pog thing's cool.
Over a legacy card?
That's really
you design a Pog.
I mean, of the two options, I think the legacy card's like the more lasting thing. But I think getting to design, if he got to like design a Pog and give it a pilot, that's a pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
But wouldn't designing a Pog be cooler? Because you can just have like Joe, you can just say, you know what, sorry, it's gonna be my picture on here, and I'm gonna do the same thing that Ghost Rider did.
Well, then it wouldn't be a Ghost Rider Pog; it'd be a Joe Pog.
Exactly, and that's better for Joe.
Joe specifically said Ghost Rider, not Joe Rider. Yes. All right, Dan, which one?
Joe Rider.
If it was me, I'd probably pick a legacy card. That'd be cool to just feel like, yeah, I want this to be a legacy.
Agreed. Aaron, do you have a preference if you were doing this specific instance?
I don't really need to ever design a map because, rock. But it's a toss-up. There's definitely some Pick a Legacy figures I'd like to bring back, like Emperor Joker or potentially the original Starro. That would be cool.
That's not the question. You guys are killing me.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is where my brain goes. I'm torn. It's like Design a Bystander is probably the cool one because you get to actually, like, figure out what it's going to do. Pick a Legacy could be cool, but it depends on what the restrictions of the Pick a Legacy really is, you know?
I just think it's
how
cool
far
to
do we get to go back?
have the sculpt versus a flat
Can we
poker chip.
Can we Legacy a Pog?
That seems like the worst option.
Well, I mean, Design a Bystander is cool because of like the group with the HeroClix Maker Market.
Oh yeah.
Who's to stop you from getting a sculpt made for your bystander?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just
Like,
got a
the
really
Legacy
deep connection with this Ghost Rider.
I mean, yeah, he really does, I think. But but no, I mean, that's a weird decision to make there. Part of me is like Legacy would be really cool for certain figures I'd like to bring back and to see how they could evolve and be playable, hopefully be playable, versus like what the last 4 bystander? No, every bystander minus the original Porter one, and even it saw some play, have seen heavy meta play.
Spirit of the Game hasn't seen that much.
Oh, it definitely did. Like
played
earlier
Spirit.
when it came out, it definitely did.
Yeah, Spirit of the Game definitely had a place when you needed the extra action for 20 points. I mean, we'll
That was
see.
also during the heavy online play, so that's why you didn't see it a lot.
And I did not
In
do online
3 days,
play.
we'll see the new one. So maybe we'll have another meta-defining bystander. I just feel like the bystander is really hard to walk away from because you're going to have more say in it versus the legacy. And while getting your figure sculpt back is cool, the track record with certain legacies aren't always great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just imagine a picture of Joe riding a Hell Cycle. Like,
yeah.
Well,
and
then you can have his teammates and the little, and the little sides. Be perfect.
Yeah. But I mean, that's fine. So I think Design a Bystander is probably the way you go if you really want to have input on what it's going to be.
And then it'll get killed in 1 damage, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
All I took from that whole conversation of Legacy Pog is something that needs to be explored.
All right. Lastly, can you guess my favorite piece from my previous question? Sad smiley face.
Mammoth Ghost Rider.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Goose Rider from the Spider-Ham universe.
I didn't realize he was such a Ghost Rider fan.
Not at all.
On a serious note, shout out Aaron the Goat, great band list and changes overall. You can't get them all right, buddy. It's okay. At least you got 99% right. Stuntman will return. All right, going to...
In a year.
Yeah, exactly. He will return. He just needs to take a time out. Going to Caleb Kaju. Is the question thread for the one being pushed back still going to be the one we ask questions on for it, or will you post a new one with the same task? We'll still use that one. So if you are doing something for the WrestleMania episode, just throw it on the original one. And then the second question, I love the updates. Do you think Predegaton was really necessary to ban? When will the barrel come off? And if all elements are unique, why put Saturnine on the restricted list? I feel like she was only mainly a problem in multiples, and I feel that she won't get much play now that she's on that list. But with these updates, do you all plan on changing much or sticking with what you got? And what are your thoughts? It's pronounced Keju, like you're sneezing in French. It's French.
Cadeau.
It's Cadeau.
He literally just said right here, it's Kaju.
No. Well, there you go.
Oh, I guess it's Kadju.
Yes.
For Digaton, he's heavily played. They're already looking at stuff for him in other formats, and potentially, people have been rallying to get him banned in Pulp because he's just too good for his points. He fits being on that. As far as the restricted list stuff goes, Saturnine isn't just only good in multiples. I think she's still good by herself. You're just not -3 in someone's attack when they come at you. She's getting you extra tarot cards and the ability to play tarot. I just think it's a smart play to put her there and leave her there for now. In case something else comes out that can be paired with her, that is a problem. Not everything is so black and white. Some things are made for the future and anything that could interact with them. So it may not make sense now, but maybe in the future it'd be like, oh, there's the thing. We're really glad she's restricted and not just free.
Well, what about the more important one?
Yeah, the most important one.
Yeah.
Quarter to never. No, I mean.
Well, the question says when will it, not if.
I said a quarter to never. That's a win. No. I don't know what to do about the barrel, honestly. Like
take it off the list.
Saw more of an uptick after it got benched. So it's the first item of its kind to be like, hey, it's on the bench list. Let's play it more in the other format. Because that's
because it's like you have to in that format to stop, figures like Colossus just destroying everything.
I'm gonna say that's directly this podcast's fault.
It is. And I'm going to say I directly enjoyed using you guys to help my cause.
That's terrible. Well, we'll continue to push for it, and we will not be silenced.
I know you will. Does that mean we're... Oh, wow. That's a very interesting analogy. I like that.
But he does also ask, but with these updates, do y'all plan on changing much or sticking with what you got? And what are your thoughts? So I won't be able to make the Rock Cup. So with these changes really just going to be live for that current event, until we get like a states thing or the next big silver event, I don't think I'll be making like an official silver team. But I do think that this is all great stuff except for the barrel.
We'll have our silver thing, well, at least one event in July, so.
Yeah. So, but then you're talking about how many other sets coming out too. So I won't be building for that though until probably June.
No, I know. I think that's our next closest one after the Cup.
I'll be building for it the night before.
Yes.
Typical.
Miles, are you building anything silver right now for any events?
No, I have a modern event the same weekend as the Rock Cup, so yeah. I'm still in the modern mindset.
And then, Aaron, you are not able to play in any silver events coming up because you'll be judging?
Yeah, mostly. I still look at silver builds because, I play locally and what other events I can make it to. I am on Starro with a Serpent Crown because old school style mind control sounds real fun. If not that, I'll choose.
I guess my question is, how do you get it on him? Do you just use Elsa? Or are you using some other tech to get it on him?
I mean, right now, Elsa is definitely the best option to get something quick to a Colossal without having to be like, I unequipped it, I shifted, he equipped it, and he can't do his thing this turn. So yeah, Elsa's probably the go-to for now to get it over there. I don't care that it costs points on her. Like, I want to see what it can do. My Starro tech may go backwards because I have to change my primes.
Oh no!
But I don't think I lose it. No. I mean, I don't think I lose a step though.
No, because old school
I'd
mind
go
control
back
is
and
pretty bonkers.
yeah. So now I triple target mind control you, and I get to do capital close or capital range is my free instead of making an attack. Cool. Let's pulse wave your team because I mind controlled you. That's kind of fun.
Is that a
So
is that what the OG star or legacy?
I'd put it on OG. Legacy is
Okay.
going to be more of an attacker than a mind controller. So maybe I got to figure out something to get him mobility so he can move and attack. See, like there's a lot to like go into the Starotech change overall. So if it's not Starotech or I'm gonna try to get it right, but if I can't get it right, then it's Ultra Chase Collector. Like I said earlier, it's his playground, so I'm excited to see all the different variations of what equipment goes on him, the support that goes around him, how strong can he really get in silver. I think it's pretty exponential, honestly.
Yeah, I was excited to play him in silver, but with him doing so well in modern now, I think that he's going to be pretty commonly played. So I might stick away from him now once it's time to actually build. All right, going to Mork Bird. Aaron Morgan, I'm sure I speak for the majority of the community when I offer huge thanks for molding silver away from being modern plus more into its own very unique format. So thanks again. Will Beetlejuice get an immediate ban for silver post-Worlds or an errata? I think restricting him makes no difference.
I mean, he's temporarily banned right now, so I don't know why we're waiting till post-World. Unless they do something on the other side officially to him, I don't think he comes off my list until his time is actually up, and hopefully by then they have done something to him.
But if nothing changes, he would stay on for like the full at least year and a half, right? He wouldn't come off post-Worlds.
Yeah. Unless something drastically changes on him, he's not coming off.
Okay. Then favorite equipment right now in silver. Man, that's hard. Mandarin rings are good, but I still maybe think Soul Gem. But that might be biased based off our big games. Spin ring is so good.
Hold, please. I'm still a big fan, even if it's 30 points of the Pick a Power Infinity Gauntlet. Especially with the ways to heal now.
Yeah, that one's really good.
We're going back in time as far as equipment goes. I do like that. I think the cubes are overlooked right now. There's definitely some ones that are going to open up now that the juice has been put away.
Yeah.
Like the blue cosmic cube in his free place and give the character improved targeting, elevated, and hindering, +2 range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real good. The OG Goblin Glider. That still has some play. The 4-point symbiote still really good. But overall, I think my favorite. Still think Mjolnir, the original Mjolnir, is my favorite.
Yeah,
I've just done some silly things with it, not on Starro, but on other characters I enjoy playing, and I think it's pound for pound, point for point, a really good object or equipment.
Yeah, we've done some crazy
Mini
things.
Slayer.
Get out of here, Miles.
Mini Slayer. No, you equip that to the collector. He gets -2 to his speed, and he can't be given actions to equip anything. And then technically it says after resolution, so is it still technically an opposing effect, or would it unequip him?
It can't.
I know.
It cannot
Still,
yeah.
No, I know you get. It's gonna be the Beetle Pod. Is probably like one of my favorite equipment of all time. +2 speed and flight. Plus, it also gives you toughness.
The Beetle Pod is what you're going with?
Points. Oh yeah, Beetle Pod and Octopus Arms are
Mm-hmm.
my top 2 silver objects for sure.
I'll give you Octopus Arms.
Actually, Beetle Beetlepod on Zoom Prime actually sounds real fun.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh my
I played it with him once. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you give him that reducer, so now he doesn't take knockback, and then he gets +2 speed plus flight. Yeah, for 8 points.
bonkers.
Because people are talking about giving him the glider, and now you're gonna save 8 points or for 7
Yeah.
points.
7 points, yeah.
Yep.
That makes a difference.
Dan, what about you? Favorite silver equipment?
If I'm going pure offense, probably the crowbar. Just you have invuln. I've now hit you. If it's utility, and the spin is really good. That just 5 points of that is amazing. Otherwise, I also like the 30-point Infinity Gauntlet. I've used it before. The one that lets you pick powers. Or no, well, we have it now with the what is it, the new one? But it was actually the one that grants all the protecteds and then gives you cosmic energy. That one was also amazing. I love that one. I think that's still underrated. Just giving protected a bunch of things is great because it's mind control, pulse wave, both of the experts, and prob and poison. So
Are those even getting a lot of play in the bigger events right now for silver?
no.
Because I'm trying to remember seeing much. I think that we saw some of the cubes being played, right? But no, maybe one gauntlet.
I think it was maybe one gauntlet. Yeah.
I don't think the gauntlet, outside of maybe one event, has been played.
Yeah, a lot of this.
think if you have like a
The
really
last
good
time I saw Gauntlet played was with Mad Jim giving it to
oh, that makes
Lovejaw.
sense.
Yeah.
But like if you have a really good attacker and you want to make it so that they're tough to like deal with, being able to give out all the protecteds plus cosmic energy is for me is really solid.
Pete, what about you? Favorite silver equipment?
It's a tough question. The soul gem's probably biased because of our big games. I think the liar ring is criminally underrated, though.
Oh, liar is so good.
Yeah, that or the emotional modifier. Those are my only real good answers.
Yeah, I feel like silver equipment in general is played a lot less than I would think in some of these bigger events.
Well, you just have so much, right? I mean, like the amount you have to choose from, you really have to hone in on like what you're going for.
I wonder if it's lack of like ownership even with some of this stuff.
That could also be very true.
Aaron, most obscure recent judge call you have made?
Using, hold on, I need to know which one it is so I can say the right thing. Terrain markers. Not that one.
Was it at Adepticon?
Yeah. Is it the hindering one? Sorry, I'm trying to find the one that gives giant reach 4.
That's the casket or whatever.
I mean,
Yeah, is it
It's
the
the
pew?
pew. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the pew. It's the hindering one.
yeah.
That's right, because Miles uses
Pew.
it against me.
So, if you're holding the pew and you have giant reach, can you use blades with it? You're using it in your attack. Just to see who knows this answer and paid attention at Adepticon.
Everybody in here knows the stupid answer for that stupid question. You can even use it with the Ares bomb. Stupid interaction. Should never work.
It's because of the rule. The rules change with object attacks. It's not like instead of normal damage. It's just its own thing. So then yes, you can, because you can switch from that to blades.
Yep. So that was one that caught somebody off guard at Adepticon. I'll go with that one because it actually caught TJ off guard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They called me
Yeah, big
over
rule
for
that
that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
ruled that you couldn't. And I'm like, no. I said, this is going to happen. Here's all the screenshots.
Yeah, that was something that was talked about. I don't even know how many months or weeks ago now. Months.
At my IC
When
regional, he did
Harry
it.
showed
at my
up.
IC regional.
Yeah.
December.
That was a while ago.
All right. What legacy carded figure
Yeah.
do you feel has better options playing them as their non-legacy version in silver? If not better, then what do you feel is highly playable? Still highly playable.
That's an easy answer.
What's yours, Dan?
Carnage?
Surtur.
Yeah, I would have said
Like,
Surtur.
Yeah.
Play the original.
Yeah, sure. I got sure as the number 1. And then my number 2 is Josiah X. Neither one is great, but the non-legacy version is better because you're able to reduce penetrating from everyone that shares a keyword or is adjacent, not just with the crew trait.
Oh, how about the new Captain Marvel?
No,
I actually think her legacy's better, but that's my thought.
She makes Chewie.
Yes.
I like the old one.
That's an
I
option
like it.
just because they're different. I mean, I like them both, honestly, but Chewie was huge. I don't have a problem with that one. I think both are playable. I think Surtur's the best answer. So.
Yeah.
Did you say one? Sorry, Aaron. Are you...
Carnage.
Oh, Carnage, you did say that.
The
right,
Colossal Carnage.
No, that's a good one, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's another solid choice.
there was a weird interaction we figured out while I was up there for Adepticon, actually. I just can't remember what the hell it is right now. It was something about making
It was him with it was something to do with blades. I'm pretty sure. I remember overhearing it, but yeah, I can't recall that entire what that was.
my X swap Dormammu build with Colossal Carnage.
Yes.
I just play the original, and now because it's an X-Men,
Yep,
all my
the
bystanders have X-Men keywords, and they get rollouts.
Yep.
Stupid, but it's really
You know
good.
You know who's not good in either version?
Pete.
Thor Odinson.
Yeah.
Just
Do
say
that.
Sorry, dude.
Okay, cool. I'll remember that.
All right, Mark's
I
fifth.
am excited to play through it. Oh,
What's up?
never mind. Go ahead.
What are you excited to play, though?
We're in Loki Legacy with Tooth and Asher and the other one.
Oh, yeah, that could
I
be
think
fun.
that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff it looks like already that's going to be fun to play in Smash and Destroy. What events help make your decision on the restricted ban watch list?
HC Units is a wonderful, wonderful data and team building tool. This makes my job 1,000 times easier than it was in previous years because, I didn't have to stare at build sheets for hours. Now I can just click buttons and look at what was played at said events and have a better understanding of things.
Do you
that
weigh,
tool I've been a part of?
Do you weigh certain events bigger than other events, or are you just looking at all the events as a whole?
All the events as a whole.
I like that.
Because it doesn't matter where it's played as long as it's played and everything gets updated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the biggest sample size you can get, yeah.
Paul Cote has an interesting question. Was Copycat with WWE powers considered for the ban list?
Yes, I did look at that. Again, there are some things that aren't on my list that are being looked at other places, potentially. So I would like to think that that is something that is going to get addressed without my involvement. But if it doesn't, I will look into doing something about it.
All right. Specifically not for Aaron and only for everyone else. This is Anthony Barnstable. In your opinion, why did each new entry end up on the list it ended up on? What were you surprised to see missing from any list or previously on a list that did or didn't changed? Using only positive, optimistic answers. Why do you think those surprises happened? I don't know how many surprises they really were. And I think everything that we went over was pretty straightforward. The only surprise, I think, was the Chair Panther one, because I don't think he deserved that. And Kong seeing a huge downtick. But everyone else, I think, is well-deserved, right?
Yeah. There's only one that like I said, I can't really say I'm not surprised she's not on the list just because no one has played her. But I just know that there's something there for with the X-Men swap, which is that High Rollers Kitty Pryde, and Orion being able to. It doesn't matter what map you're on. Whenever you just roll leadership, you don't need to succeed, and she's able to place 2 characters with the X-Men keyword. So you're able to just completely get someone all the way across the map, no matter what you rolled.
What's the point investment?
She's 40, and he's 20 points for the X-Men swap. But yeah, she's only 40. And she's really good to super senses, and whenever she uses it and succeeds, adjacent friendly characters also evade the attack. Protected Pulse Wave.
Oh, he's protected Pulse Wave, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really good for 40 points.
I think did you have anything? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I say because it says leadership, and then when Kitty Pryde uses it after resolutions, you choose 2 friendly characters with the X-Men keyword. If at least one of them is Kitty Pryde or is adjacent to Kitty Pryde, you place the chosen characters in each other's squares. And so there's Orion that you're able to place 6 squares from your opponent's starting area, and you're giving him X-Men, so you're going to swap, and so you're going to have someone at the beginning of the game be there. It doesn't matter who they are. And then on your alpha turn, you can just roll leadership. You just need to use it, and then you're able to place a heavy attacker, and they're right in their face.
Yeah,
it's worse than Magic.
I could see the potential there.
Takes a little bit of setup. This one just does not.
I think where those guys couldn't be moved, or can they be moved or placed? I thought
no,
those
you're
guys...
swapping them. No, you're swapping them because he has X-Men. So you're using X-Men swap.
Oh, you're not. Oh, that's.
Yeah, they're not going to be on the map. Yeah, you're going to swap them with someone from the sideline.
That is so confusing. Okay, all right, yep.
I mean, it's a little bit more potent point investment because you have to use APOC and Genesis. But, I mean, you have 400 points to work with. And so you're able to just get...
Doesn't that also mean that they lose the FTI?
No, because it's the beginning of the game. So they don't have it. It's at the beginning of the game is when you do the X-Men swap. So they still have first turn immunity. It's before the start of the game. It's the beginning of the game phase. When you're swapping. So no, they don't lose their first turn immunity. Because it's before the first turn.
So going back to Anthony's question, anything else you were surprised?
Timebreakers? That's about it. That wasn't there. I think that's what he was specifically asking. Was it missing? Yeah, missing.
Or it didn't change.
Those guys. So.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of that stuff. I think for me, I would have liked to see the barrel come off just because it does stop the ridiculous alphas and the unerrata on magic, which I think I might have mentioned.
It'll be fine.
Oh, you definitely didn't mention that whatsoever.
And then,
just play Kitty until we get magic off. Her card fixed.
And then he does say, why do you think those surprises happened? I think maybe Aaron's just afraid of the traffic barrel. Aaron, are you afraid of it?
No.
Sounds
I
like
don't even think it's on any of his builds.
Well, because it's he's too afraid to add it.
No. Because it's not fucking legal.
All right, and then for everyone, how does this make
He did say using only positive optimistic answers.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point that part of it out. I think Aaron was very clear, and it was all done from essentially things the community brought up or things that have just had a ton of play. So, I mean, Chair Panther, I think, solves more problems than he causes, but if he's getting that much play and it's time for him to take a timeout, I'll see you soon, King. It'll be okay.
And you'll see him at Origins and other places where he's fine in Modern.
Yeah, literally every event in Modern.
Or
Right,
like
yeah.
on a Monday night when you decide to bring him anyway. Like it's fine.
Or when I just curl up with them at night.
That too.
I mean, yeah, that too. Because
I mean, realistically, if he is benched for like the year and a half that it ends up being, that's his whole time in Modern, so he'll just shift right into Silver. You would think. Promise me. Promise me. Do it. Shake my hand. 3, 2.
No.
Do it. Do it now.
No.
All right, and then
Well, technically, you can't play Fair Panther in Silver, so just remember that.
Why?
You know, on Legacy.
At this point, it's because I can hear the blood vessel in your forehead exploding.
We have 2 questions left. Let's just get through these. For everyone.
We are.
For everyone, how does this make you feel in preparation for HeroClix for Huntingtons? I think this is exactly what we needed. The only thing is, and I think Aaron mentioned this too, is that it would have been nice to get this list a couple of weeks ago, because it kind of sucks for everyone building. There was a lot of hits on these lists that were probably on almost everyone's, at least one of these items, probably multiples, were on every single person attending that started building on their builds.
Highlander too.
The Highlander,
yeah.
So a lot of people, especially like or I guess the team event's Modern, isn't it? So yeah, just the singles. But yeah, a lot of people are gonna have to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit, and only having a month for what's supposed to be a championship level event, I think it's kind of rough.
I like it though. Like I mean, it's gonna shake things up so much that I kind of dig it because this happened with which Worlds was it? Was that 2023 where like they announced the like was that
it was last year?
Was it last year? Yeah, because it like the update like just popped out and was like, oh, we only have 2.5 weeks or whatever to the Worlds.
Yeah, that was before Gen Con. It was right before Gen Con when it happened.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't when you're practicing team builds, a month it's not enough. Like I said, Adepticon would have been perfect. 2 months I think is real good. I mean, yeah, the month notice is the rough part.
You're talking even if you get in like a one game or say you get like 6 games a week. Is that really not enough practice? Like
I'm not talking about me specifically. There's people that try and hone in like, specific builds and everything. They've been testing it for months, and so that's all they've got is for months, and you come to find out that they can't play those. That's what I'm getting at is, yeah. I can pivot. I'm not talking about for myself. I can pivot, no problem.
No, I was speaking more generally.
A lot of people are practicing specific teams because that's what they feel comfortable with, so they've been practicing their team probably since Silver States. And they go, okay, we got this. And then a month before, like, they have to completely change it because it's just, this is a really big change.
Oh, yeah.
Pete, did you have an answer for this one?
Yes, my preparations for Huntington's is I am furiously figuring out how to master the Oxid app so that I can get all the things that I bid on.
Good luck.
When Porter announced that like signed God of War poster, I was like, wow, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
I just know I'm not gonna be able to bid on it, so I'm like, I've just kind of written it off. But it was just like, man, that would be a cool thing to be able to win.
No, I will say one thing in addition to this is anybody that was planning on main forcing Beetlejuice, I'm glad you only have a month to rebuild your team. So, there.
Ooh. Oh, the level of petty. I love it.
All right, final question by Michael Donicht. Should I feel bad that I can't go back-to-back championships with the same state's team? I would say a little bit, actually. That
I mean,
hurts to not have that option.
Yeah, I mean, you can still do Camelot. It's just you lose Colossus. So you have to. Is there something else in armor that you can make work that will fill it? Like
Juggernaut,
but
Juggernaut.
Yeah, I mean, Juggernaut's a good replacement for him. So
I think it's worth play testing. I'm not sure it's a full replacement though.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're not 1-to-1. It's just that they're at least relatively close in how they operate.
Is that the only thing? That's probably the only thing that he loses, right?
think so. I think he basically didn't really.
Fine, just give him the Crimson Gem, not the Crimson Gem. You give him the Serpent Crown, and it's like Prime Colossus Light.
Oh, I guess. Well, I was thinking the +1 longsword, but that's fine. That works too.
Oh no, so that way you're target line controlling.
Oh yeah. But better because they get to power. They get to do their power actions. Or sorry, range or close.
All right, let's go to the final thoughts. Do you have anything, Miles?
No, I'm still in the modern mindset, so I can't unfortunately give any great insight on Silver, except everyone, please play Kitty Pryde with X-Men Swap, APOC, and Genesis. Let's show the world what they're missing.
Dan?
I like my Fringy build even more. Like, I played Odin in Silver once, and I might play him in Silver again. I don't know. So, we'll see. Unfortunately, I'll be judging all weekend, so I won't be playing, but that's where my head's at as far as, like, Silver's concerned, so...
Okay. Pete, what do you got?
Now, Ron.
Good job. Great job. You handsome, charming man. Thanks for spending time with us.
As always.
Always, it's always fun. Looking forward to terrorizing Dan in a few weeks and hopefully seeing everybody again at Origins.
Oh god, you and Barnstable at the same time. That's going to be very interesting.
Yep. Get ready for that.
Yeah, I'll be at Origins next for sure. But I'm happy that they made steps and making Silver even healthier, and looking forward to where it goes after Rock Cup. So thanks for listening, and see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!
I'm so